Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you information about exciting things that are happening right here in our community, and today will be no different. Now, for those of you who watch the program on a regular basis, you know one of our favorite topics is health. And we like to keep people informed about all of the many health initiatives that are going on in our community, as well as some of the unique partnerships that are actually developing right here in our own community. Oftentimes we think about the traditional access to care being a hospital in our community, but there's some institutions, some well-known institutions that are beginning to launch out and create some very, very innovative ventures. Joining me today is Vincent Anderson. He is the president of the Oakwood University Clinic. That's a mouthful.
It is.
But I'm glad that you're here today, Vincent. It's good to see you.
I'm glad to be here. I really am.
Listen, I'm glad because I actually had a chance to visit the clinic.
Yes, you did.
And so I have a little context about what's going on over there, but I thought I wanted to have you on the show so that you can actually talk a little bit about what's happening and so that people can really get a clear understanding about why this type of thing works. You know, you think about churches and mosques and synagogues, and you think about worship, and you think about music, and you think about all these traditional ritualistic kinds of things that are part of a person's religious experience. But you don't oftentimes think about a clinic, even if you have medical people on staff doing any given service. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about the genesis of this particular project.
Well, the genesis of it comes from two different directions. The need was realized when I went to visit my aunt. She's actually a great aunt and my cousin. And I realized that when she needed to go to the doctor, her son had to get her dressed because she was very particular about what she looked like before she went out. And then he had
the old school line.
Yeah, that's right. When you go out, you look your best.
That's right.
But once he got her dressed and everything, they had to go downstairs because she had the master bedroom on the second floor. So she had to slide down the stairs on his back. Yeah. When he got her down there, he had to put her in the wheelchair. Now we're talking about 2 hours have elapsed till we get to this point.
Wow.
He gets her in the car. He lifts her out of the wheelchair into the car. Then they get to the doctor's office and he lifts her out of the car into the wheelchair. They go into the doctor's office. It takes about an hour. Now we're at the 3-hour mark. When they get back, he's got to do this in reverse. He's got to lift her out of the wheelchair. And then as they get inside, he puts her on his back and he climbs up the stairs with her on his back.
Wow.
Now, that's not putting any blame on any public institution. That's just what he had to do to get her there. And he was not alone. There are a lot of other people who don't have to do that kind of drastic thing, but they still are involved in a half-day, full-day process of getting someone to the doctor for regular checkups, just to make sure they stay healthy.
Right. And the reality is that when you start thinking about what constitutes a church, people.
Right.
And that if you have people, you obviously have a whole range of people in there who have a whole range of medical issues.
That's right.
Some are relatively healthy for all intents and purposes. And on the other extreme, you have some that have lots and lots of problems. And then there's everyone in between. So when you have a clinic that you open up in a church, as big as Oakwood University Church is, it really kind of sounds the bell that the church has really taken some thought and some care in thinking about its members. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Well, yes, I would agree with that because, once again, the church voted for this to take place. Both in business meeting and board meeting, they voted and they put down money to get this thing started. So yes, they have thought it through. We had to put together the usual thing of a business plan and pull in the resources of different people who could help us to get this thing launched the right way.
Yeah, so okay, I had a chance to go see the clinic, and when I walked in, it looked like a pretty traditional medical room. And so talk a little bit about how it's staffed, talk about the equipment that's there, and talk about what happens in the course of a week in terms of people having access to this clinic?
Well, I have to say that the clinic room itself is equipped as well as most clinics or doctor's offices rooms, where you examining rooms. We have the same equipment, and it is staffed by nurse practitioners. And one in particular is Joyce Anderson. She is related to me, my wife, and she's been doing this before. She's operated a clinic like this in Chicago, one in Flint, Michigan, and one in Pulaski, Tennessee. So it's not a new thing for her. It's something that she's done before. But I need to just insert something. The clinic room itself is just the minor part of what we're doing. Getting back to that example of my aunt, the nurse practitioners are actually going to the patient instead of having the patient come to them.
In the community.
Going into the community to visit the patients there, yes.
And I think that's especially why I wanted to talk with you about this, because one of the things I'm always talking about is that a church really doesn't have much relevance if all it is a building that sits somewhere.
Right.
If somebody asked the question once, if your church, mosque, or synagogue disappeared, would it really matter to the people that lived around you?
Yeah.
And the truth is that when you establish something like this that has a very functional purpose, a very pragmatic purpose, health, something that's on everybody's mind, and something that lots of people struggle with today.
Right.
And you can actually say, we have a service that people can go out and actually touch the lives of people in a special way.
Right.
That's a unique partnership.
We like to think so.
Yeah.
We're trying our best to make that partnership work.
Yeah. And so people who are interested, perhaps, they're listening to you now, as I certainly would be, and they're thinking about, how something like this gets started. Obviously, it's part of the blueprint of the way the Oakwood University Church operates. And it's part of that outreach perspective of the religious institution. Sometimes people get lost in the in-reach, and it's an essential part of what's happening. But again, you have people in the community that have all kinds of needs. You have community service centers, for example, that have food.
Yeah.
You have community distribution centers that have clothing. You have all these different entities. Why not have a health clinic? It just seems like something that fits in quite well with the model of what really reaching people is all about.
Well, in fact, we're hoping that this will be a model for other church organizations, and we would be willing to help them get something like this started. But we just need to get ours done and successful first, so that we can say, aha, we didn't just set it up, but it is a solid organization, and you too can do that because we did it. So we're in the process of that we did it part. We've set it up, now we're saying we did it. But yes, in the future, this will be a model, we hope, for other church organizations. And in the Huntsville area, we would be willing to partner with and show them how we did what we did.
And I think that's a great part of the message too, because you don't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel.
Right.
What you have to have is a purpose, and then decide on how you're going to use the resources that you possess and that the other group or groups possess.
Right.
And then do something that's other-centered for the benefit of people all around you.
It's true.
And this is something I know lots and lots of people can appreciate, having this kind of arm of the religious institution being a part of something that people can connect to and identify with. It's got to be very, very important to that process. What kind of feedback have you gotten back so far from people who have either used the facility, benefited from the facility, or just people that are generally questioning how things are going?
The patients themselves that we have seen have enjoyed this special time, because you get to the house, you're not in and out in 15 minutes. You just can't get that done. At least we can't. So they enjoy the special attention. And in 2 cases, I know when you make the visit, there is more than one generation there, and the younger ones are watching and saying, "Oh, well, listen, I've got this and I've got that." So it becomes more than one person that's involved. You start becoming involved with the whole family, and so our patient population has been very positive to this point. We haven't had a mistake or a misstep to this point that we know of.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of opportunity ahead of you, sure, to grow and also assess what's going on.
Yes.
Are there plans right now to make this thing more than what it is right now? I know you're kind of taking some baby steps in the process, but I know people dream too. So I'm just wondering, have there been some discussions about maybe enlarging the practice?
Yes, yes. Our sponsoring physician, Dr. Michael Johnson, has the ability to sponsor up to 4 nurse practitioners at one given time. So we've got room to add more practitioners as the patient population picks up. So we do have that. We do have plans in the back of our minds at some point of keeping our presence in the church, but setting up a larger office clinic area somewhere else so that we can accommodate the additional staff, background staff, because the people that are in the background have to be there to support all of your medical practitioners. So we'll need more room for them. Yeah. And so yes, there is a plan to expand.
Yeah, I kind of thought so, especially under the leadership of Dr. Bird too.
Yeah,
who's quite the visionary and,
yes,
and person who supports that strong community effort.
Right.
I would imagine that there are people that are definitely in conversation about that right now, which I think is a great thing. You'll have an opportunity at some point to kind of look back in the rearview mirror and see where you've come from and how things are going, and then determine where you're going in the future. I wonder, as some people are listening to this broadcast today, how do you find people, or just how do people find you? Because say you are reaching out to the community.
Right.
So if I'm in the community and I have the need to see the nurse practitioner, how would I even know that she's there? Or how does she know that I'm there?
Well, we're hoping that programs like this will help us, but we are also doing some other things, events, partnering with others in events in the community.
Health fairs and other kinds of things like that.
We're going to be there at the Oakwood University University Health Fair. So we're going to be there. That's planned. But then there's some other things that we've got in November and December as well that will put us out there in the community. But if a person just wants to contact us, he can call us. He can go online. We have a website. The website is set up so that once you go to it, you can actually make an appointment. So you go to our website, which is Oakwood University Church Health Service.com. That's a whole long name, but that's the domain we got. It's Oakwood University Church Health Service.com.
All right.
You hit that, and it will take you right to where you need to go in terms of seeing who we are, how we do what we do, and being able to make an appointment.
I would imagine that with all of the challenges that we hear about access to health care and transportation challenges that we have in our city, the cost of taking care of one's health, that this would be a very valuable service for people, and that people are listening perhaps today that are writing that information down and wanting to be able to learn more about it are going to get a chance to do that. And the fact that you all have made this commitment to the community to begin somewhere, assess what's going on, and then look at options to expand, I think is very exciting, and has a potential really to have a great impact on the community, because the need is great. And I think one more effort, especially a faith-based effort to do this type of thing, falls right in line with the mission. So it's got to be pretty exciting for everybody right now.
Well, it is for us.
Yeah.
It is for us. And for the patient body that we've been able to reach so far, they seem happy with what we've been doing. And when we talk to other people who say, man, my mother needs this kind of thing, or I know my aunt, and these are the people that we need to act and take advantage of what we are trying to provide.
Yeah. So people can once again get in touch with you by going to the website. Let me give this a shot.
Okay.
Oakwood University Church Health Service.com.
Right.
Service,
All
not
together.
with an S.
Not with an S,
All right.
singular. Right.
Oakwood University Church Health Service.com.
Right.
I've been listening.
Yes, yes.
Is there a phone number that people can
all right.
also call?
I'm ready with it.
All right, hit it.
It's 256-203-5185.
All right, give it one more time.
256-203-5185.
All right, Vincent Anderson, thank you so much. You guys didn't know this was my brother, by the way. All Andersons claim some kind of relationship, and I really do that, actually. I mean,
It's true.
I claim all Andersons, and someone told me the other day, they said, you know how we became Andersons? I said, no, I don't. Well, when they were naming people back in the day, they said, you were son of Anders.
Right.
And so
Right.
we're all Anders' son.
All right. Okay. I'll accept that. All
Vincent
right.
Anderson, thank you for being here with us today.
And I'm glad to find out that I'm related to you.
Yes, sir. And we're related to everyone. I mean, we're connected to you guys, and we love talking with you. We love coming into your homes and being able to share this great information with you about one of the greatest cities on this planet. We oftentimes call it a great city to live, work, and play. And that's exactly what this show is all about, to be able to shine a light on all of those great things that are happening. We ask you to follow us on Facebook or like our Facebook page at Impact with Kenny Anderson. We hope that you'll definitely take an opportunity to do that, where we post the shows that we've taped and also additional information about what's happening in the community. So we will talk to you again very soon with another great guest with some more great information about something happening and making an impact in the city of Huntsville. For Impact, I'm Kenny Anderson. We'll see you again soon.